What's good, agents? Today we have a deck profile for WarGreymon and BT6. Y'all know that I actually really loved WarGreymon and BT4 and even BT5. And so because of that, I decided to make an upgraded version for BT6 that utilizes Dynasmon and a lot of the other cards that came out in BT6. I will have a video coming up in the next couple of days showcasing the deck and what it works, what it does when it works perfectly, which is a match I had with Daniel Davis, who is in our Discord server and also comes through on the streams. So that match was on the stream. He and a couple other folks asked me to make a deck profile for this deck because they hadn't seen anything that performs in the way that this one does. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the deck profile for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and also share with me some of your favorite decks from BT6 and what you're most excited for EX01 and BT7. Without further ado, let's just get into the deck profile. Alright, y'all, so we are here. We're going to start off with our Digitama, of course, and then we'll get into the main deck, which we have here. So, for our Digitama, we have one Bibimon. He's really just here to kind of fill out the count so that we have 5 Digitama, but he's also pretty nice in that his effect is when attacking, once per turn, if you have 3 security cards, gain 1 memory. This deck plays with security a lot, so this does proc every so often. The goal of the deck isn't necessarily to keep yourself at 3 security. Sometimes you'll end up at 4, sometimes it'll be down to 2. It really just depends on the board, but it's not consistent enough that I would say run 4 of these guys. I think 1 is enough, and I think you don't even have to run it if you don't want to, but I choose to just in case I'm playing a more grindy game and I need more Digitama. The other 4 that we're running is just for the Coromon from BT4. It makes a lot more sense because I find that oftentimes I'm at just shy or just below 3 security. So Coromon's great when attacking. If you have 3 or less, 3 or fewer, I cannot talk today for this video, 3 or fewer security cards, you can reduce something by 1k DP. And for your WarGreymon, as you know, it'll be minus 7k. And as you'll see later in the video, we can actually, with WarGreymon swings, effectively minus something by 9k, thanks to the Mistymon, which we'll get to as a level 5. All right, now we're going to be talking about the rookies, the level 3s. So this is kind of an interesting, weird list. There's only like 2 4-ofs, and everything else is a 2-of. So we have 4 of Pulsemon. Now, this guy's great because he can easily set you to 3 security if you need to set up for another combo. You can drop him, and then on play, you don't have to, trash cards until you have 3 left in your security, and for each one you trash, you gain a memory back. So if you had 5 security, you drop him, he's only going to be a 1 cost to play, which is fantastic. I mean, I guess technically, too, if you have 6 security for some reason, you could drop him and play him for free by trashing 3 security. So you could do that. I've never had that happen, but this deck does allow for you to do something like that if you recover. And then, of course, his inheritable, which is amazing for the WarGreymon build or even your Dynasmon, is if you have exactly 3 security, that Digimon then gains jamming, which is awesome for WarGreymon. The issue you're going to run into, though, is making sure you can set up the board properly to consistently have jamming with him. So this is one of those things where if it works, it works, but even if it doesn't work, you can get him out cheaper, and his inheritable is still pretty good, and you can try and set that up mid-game as you need it. All right, so the other thing we have is 4 Starmons. I mean, I feel like this is a staple yellow card right now because I feel like yellow can very easily go wide regardless of who your top end is. It's very easy to do that because of Anduamons and Magnadramons, which lets you play stuff for free. Starmons, I mean, I don't think it needs any introduction, but I'll read it anyway. On play, you can pop reduce Digimon by 1k for every Digimon on your board. So I mean, that's just obvious combos, right? You swing with WarGrey, reduce something, then you use the Anduamon inheritable to drop Starmons, reduce it again, and finish off some of the smaller Digimon or even some of the bigger Digimon. This is great for Gabubond and Agubond. You can easily get rid of the little baby rookie Agus and Gabus before they become a big problem. Same thing with Commandramon decks. Easy way to just wipe the board and get rid of a lot of those annoying little monsters. Next, we're only running 2. Patamon. Patamon is fantastic. He comes up all the time. His inheritable is what makes him fantastic. Once per turn, whenever you delete a Digimon by reducing his DP to 0, guess what? You get a memory. You combine this with Wizardmon, and you will just gain so much memory every turn and can keep kind of just extending your plays. And it makes it really difficult for your opponent to choke you, because even if they choke you, if you have your Padas and your Wizards set up, you can just sit there and can constantly gain back memory. And sometimes, you know, you're playing around with 10 memory in the turn, even though your opponent only gave you 1. It is wild the things you can do with this Patamon. So if you want to run it at 4, I think you could. I just choose not to, because as you'll see with these other rookies here, I feel like it made more sense to kind of run these other 2 rookies just in case. So next, we're looking at 2 Bushi Agumon. Now, Bushi Agumon's an obvious one. He has Rush. You can Bushi for game. I mean, that's until we get Kazemon and some of the stuff in BT7, this is an easy win button. Next, we have our wonderful Salamons. We have 2 of these guys, or gals. They give you recovery +1 if you have 3 or less security, which happens relatively often with this deck. And you can again play her for free using Anduamon and Magnadramons. You get them on the board, and then you just wait for them to die. So that's the rookies. So you're running 4, 8, 10, 12, 14 rookies. I feel like with this deck, you get your rookies pretty often. It's rare where I'm like, oh man, I have no rookies whatsoever, just because the draw power and the searchability of this deck, just by in your security and all that kind of stuff, is pretty high, which we'll get to with the options. So that's it for the rookies. Let's go ahead and talk about our level 4s. So one of the key level 4s in this deck are 4 of them, of course, and it's Wizardmon. Now, if you want to hard play him, he's not that bad. He's only a 4-cost hard play. That's not bad. His DP is nothing special. What is special, though, is his inheritable. So once per turn, when a card is removed from your security once per turn on your turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, you gain a memory. So what does that mean? If you got him out and you got your WarGreymon, when you swing with WarGreymons, take a card from your stack, you gain a memory. There have been times where I've had 2 or 3 of these guys out and gained 2 or 3 memory off of 1 WarGreymon swing because of the Wizards. It is a really cool combo when you can get it to work. Sometimes, obviously, it doesn't, but it is a great way to kind of extend your plays, extend your combos. And if you have Patamon under it with the WarGreymon, you're more than likely gaining... Where did the Patamon go? There it is. You're more than likely gaining 2 memory, because WarGreymon's going to pop something, presumably, and then Wizardmon's going to add a card, or you're going to add something to your hand with WarGrey. You're going to get 2 memory here. Then if you got multiple Wizards out, you're going to get like 3 memory. It's so good. It's so good. Use it and abuse it. That's yeah. Wizardmon is great. Next, we have 4 Pitomons. Against Bauhuck, or really against Jesmon, he's useless. I mean, Bauhuck's just going to pop him. But he is nice as just a 1-cost Evo to kind of turbo up your line. And maybe, you know, depending on your matchup, it could be good even though he's only 5,000 DP. It's really the 1-cost Evo. That's why you want him. Then lastly, TOUGHRAM, exact same thing. 1-cost Evo, 6k DP. You can start swinging with him. I mean, I guess if you have Pulsemon under it and you have 3 security, you can swing with jamming. I mean, that's really his value. He's a 1-cost Evo. So typical package with level 4s. I think if you wanted to, you could run 4 Unimon instead. Literally the only reason I don't is because he's a 1-cost, and if I need to ratchet up or turbo into a level 5 or 6 as quickly as possible, it's very easy to do. Because 8 out of 12 are 1-cost. Next, level 5s. Now this, I think, is an interesting exercise in just kind of like exploring all the different level 5 options, because there are quite a few. So we are running 4 Mistymon. Now this guy is, 3 Mistymon. Ignore that. We're running 3 Mistymon. Mistymon is awesome. Why? Same thing as Wizardmon. When something's moved from the stack, you actually get to reduce something by 2k DP. So WarGreymon, if you have a nice stack of, if you got WarGreymon, Misty, and then you have the Koromon, you're reducing things by 9k DP. You're killing any level 5, and you're severely hindering any level 6 or even 7 by reducing it by 9k. Awesome. And of course, just like before, if somehow you got multiple Mistymons, or really you're gonna have to have like a Dynasmon stack and maybe 2 WarGreymon, something like that, it will proc multiple times because you have multiple Mistymons out. So while that doesn't happen often, it can definitely happen. And in a perfect world, if you can do that, you're killing any level 6, any 3-cost level 6 that's 11k DP, because you can minus by 11k. So Mistymon is great. And also he's only a 6 play cost. So if you need to hard play him, it's not horrible. But, you know, if you're at 3 and your opponent's going to go to 3 anyway, you could always hard play him and then evolve next turn if you need to. Next, we have 3 Anduamons. I think she's a necessity in any yellow deck, personally. I don't know, maybe some of y'all feel different, but to me, I feel like she's a necessity. So Anduamon's pretty straightforward. On Digivolve, you can reduce something by 2 security checks, which is great against Jesmon. But not only that, her inheritable is fantastic. If you got 3 or less security, which you often will have in this deck, guess what? You get to play a level 3 for free. Again, standard stuff. Next, we are running 2 Manticoremon. I have him in here really as an experiment because I didn't want to do 4 Anduamons and 4 Mistymons. He's pretty cool in the sense that his when attacking effect, you can trash top your security. Unfortunately, it doesn't go to your hand, but you get to reduce something by 5k DP for the turn, which is great for getting rid of any pesky little blockers, any 1-cost blockers and below. Also, if you have Manticoremon out, his effect will proc Wizardmon, so his effect would proc any other Wizardmons you have that you need to activate. So he's great for proccing other things in the deck. And also, again, the fact that he can neg something by 5k means that he can swing over level 6s because you're reducing them by 5, and you should be, generally speaking, pretty good to then kill it with the Manticore. And lastly, we're running 1 Mammothmon because he's a 5-drop, level 5. Not only that, though, if you have 3 or fewer security on all turns, you can give something 11k DP, meaning your Dynasmon can get boosted up to 13, so you can not have to worry too much about some other level 6s. Jesmon's still a problem, but I mean, that's going to be a problem regardless, I think. And then the other thing that he's really good for too is your WarGreymons will now be at 12k, so you can, you know, your ceiling is now higher in terms of dealing damage. I think if you want to take this card out for something else, you could. I don't think it's a necessity, but I found that it has been pretty helpful. Next, we're going to get into our level 6s. So these should not surprise you guys. We have 4 WarGreymons, and they explain themselves, I think. You know, you drop them, abuse their effect, take stuff from your security to your hand, neg something 6k, swing again. Now, in this format, BT6, you got to be a little more cautious about swinging into the stack because you got Gabumon running around, which will kill your shit. You got Jesmon running around, which will kill your shit. So you got to really kind of think through your swings depending upon your matchups. But for the most part, I mean, if you can get jamming under him, you're good. But also this deck can be very aggro and very controlly. So you can kind of pick and choose based on what your opponent's doing, what you need to do with your strategy. Then we have 2 Dynasmon. I used to run this at 3, but he just got to be a little too much. Dynasmon, his effect is great, but if you use it too much, you're going to deck yourself out. That's happened to me like 3 times when I was first learning how to play this deck. I kind of thought up in my head when the set first came out. So Dynasmon, when Digivolving, you may trash the top card of your security, so you don't have to do this. Then you reveal the top 6 cards, and then you add up to 2 level 6 or lower Digimon, it doesn't matter what color they are, to your hand, which is awesome if you need to dig. And then all turns, this is like what makes this man amazing. And on all turns, if you have 3 or fewer cards, trigger recovery +1. Sorry. When a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer, trigger recovery +1. So this is awesome because combo city with this man. 1, you get WarGreymon's effect for free. 2, if you use Blinding Ray, guess what? You can recover. If you use TK, and let's say you had 3 security, you drop TK, right? TK removes a card from the stack, you recover 1 from TK. You're still at 3, Dynasmon procs because a card was removed from the stack, you recover again. So now you're up to 4. So like there are cool little things you can do like that with Dynasmon because anytime a card's removed from the stack, doesn't matter if your opponent deletes it or if you take it out for trash it for whatever reason, you get to recover 1. So Dynasmon is really fun for that reason, and your opponent will think, oh, I got this game, psych, I can just recover. So that's really, really nice. Of course, once you hit 0 security, you're gonna have to find a way to get another one in there, which is where Salamon comes in, or Reinforcing Memory Boost comes in, or Lucimon if you have any. I don't have any. I sold them all, so I'm not running any in this deck. Then you can just keep proccing Dynasmon. And then the last level 6 that we're running is a simple Magnadramon. She explains herself. If you need to recover 2, you can drop them for the 11. If you need a Digivolve on top of it, it's great because then you can play your level 3s for free. Get out your Salamons, prepare them to die next turn or whenever. Get out your Pulsemons as needed. You can get out your Starmons. I mean, she's just great just to swing because she does not have a security requirement. So you can just swing, and if you got the Anjuamon, guess what? You're getting 2 Digimon out of it. So it's pretty nice. Then let's get into level 7s. It's just 1 Volder Arm. I don't think you have to put this in this deck, but I personally like having at least 1 level 7 in any deck I build, just in case you need it. Volder Arm's going to kill most anything your opponent's got because of that double reduction of 7k. So, I mean, they explain themselves, I think. Then Tamers, we got 2 TK Takaishis, which, again, I think is a stable yellow card. Lets you look through your security so you kind of get a sense of what you got. You can take a card from your security and recover 1 so long as it's yellow. And to clarify, it just has to be yellow. It doesn't matter if it's an option card, a Tamer, or a Digimon. It's just got to be a yellow card. So that's really nice. I know some people forget about that. It's not Digimon exclusive. It just has to be yellow. The other thing to keep in mind with TK is that you must take a card from your security. You can't say no. So just keep that in mind. The other Tamer is TK and Kairi. They're great because if you have fewer security than your opponent, which you will have for most of the early game, you gain 2 memory. So again, memory is always great, especially for this deck. And then also when one of your yellow Digimon swings, you can spend it, reduce it by another 1k, which is awesome for WarGreymon. If, like we mentioned before, if you have the perfect stack, then you're reducing something by like 10k. So it's good. Next, let's talk about our Tamers. Or not Tamers, our options. We have 2 reinforcing memory boosts. I know it's going to be restricted. I think, what was it is it in February? Yeah, it's going to be restricted relatively soon. So you can only have the 1 soon. But I don't think that's a big deal. You can take this out and you can put in, I mean, really, you can put in a Wyvern's Breath if you wanted. Because we're not actually running any in this deck. But this is an easy way to recover, reveal the top 2 cards, put 1 in your hand, put 1 in the top of your security. Boom. Then later you can pop it and gain 3 memory. It's a phenomenal card. Explains itself. Lastly, we have 2 Blinding Rays. Blinding Ray is great for this deck because, once again, if you have Wizardmon and Mistymon out, you drop a Blinding Ray, you trash the top, you gain 2 memory from the Blinding, then you gain 1 memory from Wizard, then you minus something by 2k with Misty. Awesome. And then, of course, if you have Dynasmon, you drop the Blinding Ray, you recover 1. I mean, it makes it so that you're just gaining 2 memory almost for free because everything, all the cons bring you more benefits. So that's the deck. It's pretty straightforward, I think. The things, if you're going to build this, the things I would watch out for are don't pop the effect of Dynasmon too much, the first effect, if you evolve again, because you don't want to deck yourself out, which is what happened to me a couple times. Because I was just abusing the effect too much, because you're going to draw a lot of cards from this deck. You're going to be evolving a lot in this deck. Really keep in mind the strategy is, aggression and control at the same time. This deck is very oppressive. Anytime somebody pushes something up, if you've got your WarGreymon out, you're probably going to kill it. Anytime they decide to burn up a lot of memory so that they can kill the WarGreymon with a Gaia Force or something equivalent to that, guess what? You have a big enough hand that you can probably build up another stack and just push out another WarGreymon in the next turn or 2. So, yeah, make sure to check out the video, which should be going up in the next couple of days, which will basically be a showcase of the deck in my matchup against Daniel. I'll probably put up more videos in regards to this deck because I know that the last time I built it, you guys really enjoyed it. And some of you told me that you ran it in your locals and you won something. So, yeah, guys, if there's other decks that you want me to do profiles on that I've either have built or, I'm working on, or things that you would just like to see my take on, just let me know in the comment section below or DM me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, whatever works for you. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate you checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.